Good morning, students. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So students, just let me know what is going on. In the last lecture, we completed call of the soil, right? And could you tell me what did we started in the grammar section? Yes, students.
Phrases and clauses we had continued.
All right. Okay. Good. That is the PowerPoint presentation that I was sharing with you. All right. So this was the PPT, right? That I shared with you all. And we were about to start, or we have already started with phrases, clauses. Have I explained you all this?
Yes, ma'am.
Already started.
All right. So I have completed these adverb clauses. Yes, all the adverb clauses have been completed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did I start with simple compound complex, or we have to start today? I think we have to start. Am I right, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Okay, students. So because the knowledge of clauses is quite important, and only then we understand this part, that is simple compound complex. So to start with simple sentences are sentences having only one independent clause, right? So like you have the sculpture looked at the statue, right? It's having only one independent clause, and that's why we call it as a simple sentence. In case of compound sentences, you have two or more than two independent clauses, and we have the example like the soldiers surveyed the entire area and divided themselves in small groups. So we have one independent clause like the soldiers surveyed the entire area, and then we also have another independent clause that is divided themselves in small groups. Okay. Now, how are these two clauses joined together? They are joined together with the help of and. So what is and? Anyone knows in terms of grammar? What is this called as?
Conjunction.
Correct.
Conjunction.
Very good. It is called as conjunction. Now we have various types of conjunction, and just for your understanding, you should be aware and is a type of coordinating conjunction, right? So what are the other types that we are going to see? We have only two conjunctions that we need to study. So coordinating and subordinating. So and is a type of coordinating conjunction. Now coordinating conjunctions are also called as coordinators. So we have various examples like or, but, nor, yet, till, so, else, otherwise, and these are called as coordinating conjunctions or coordinators. So just for you to understand, how do you remember the coordinators? We have a acronym. Acronym means we use the first letter of every word and we remember it like this. Many of you might be aware. So what is this? This is called acronym. So what does F stands for?
For.
Correct. And then A.
And.
Okay. This is for. Then you have and. Then N is, yes,
Nor.
nor. Then B.
But.
Very good. Then O is or.
Or.
Or
Is yet. And S is
yet.
so. So these are some commonly used coordinators, okay, or coordinating conjunctions. But apart from that, we also have the other conjunctions, so that we are going to study. And that was just the easy way to remember. So apart from this, we have neither nor, okay, and such kind of coordinating conjunctions, right? So this we need to go through not only but also, okay, and otherwise, okay, all these are examples of coordinating conjunctions. And you have to remember something important, that coordinating conjunctions are used only for compound sentences. Then what do we use for complex sentences? For complex sentences, we use subordinating conjunctions. So we'll just check that. So first of all, what are complex sentences? Complex sentences contain one independent clause and one dependent clause. Okay. So how are they joined to each other? They are joined to each other by conjunctions only, but what type of conjunctions? They are joined to each other by subordinating conjunctions. So we have various subordinating conjunctions like whereas, while, still, as long as, since, until, after. And the example that is mentioned here is, although Ria was tired, she continued working. So what is the conjunction used over here? The conjunction used is although. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now students, because the base is quite clear to you about the conjunctions, so students, regarding the transformation, this is an important question which usually comes, right? So it is like you will be given one sentence, whether it is simple, compound, or complex, and you have to change it into the other form. So we will just see whatever examples we could see here, right? So to start with, we have simple to compound. That means if the sentence is given in the simple, okay, how will you make it compound? And she came here to see me. So this is a very simple sentence. And if I tell you to make it complex, that means you have to deliberately divide the sentence into two parts, okay, such that you are forming two independent clauses. That means from one independent clause, you have to form two independent clauses. Is this clear? Yes, students, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So how will you divide? We'll get the answer as she came here and saw me. Then other example is compound to simple. Okay, the opposite. So in case if you have to have a compound to simple, that means you have two independent clauses or more than two, you have to club them into a one independent clause. So you have to first of all remove the coordinator. Coordinator means a coordinating conjunction. Example, he tried hard but did not succeed. So one independent clause is he tried hard. Second is he did not succeed. You have to club them into one. So how do you club them? You use a contrasting word, that is, in spite of trying hard, he did not succeed. Okay? Yes, students, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good. Okay. Next is complex to simple. So in case if you have complex to simple, that means you have two clauses, that is one independent and one dependent. You have to again club them in such a way that you're getting only one independent clause before you make it simple. So it was here that Europeans first landed. Okay. So Europeans first landed here is the simple form that you can change. Now, students, in the question statement, it was here that Europeans first landed. Can you tell me what is a subordinator? Subordinator in the sense subordinating conjunction. Which subordinating conjunction is used? Yes.
That.
Perfect. Yes, that is an example of subordinator use. So obviously, when you're making it simple, you have to remove that. Okay. Next is simple to complex. So you have one independent clause and you have to deliberately divide into two clauses, and that too, one should be independent, okay, and the other should be a dependent clause. So how do you try this? Only Hindus can enter this temple. This is a question. It's a simple sentence, right? And if you have to make it a complex sentence, So here I have used, if you are not a Hindu, you cannot enter this temple, right? So can you identify the main clause in the answer statement? Where is the main clause? Yes. Yes,
You
students.
cannot enter this temple
Yeah.
is the main clause.
Yes, correct. Then, if you are not a Hindu is a subordinate clause. And what type of subordinate clause it is? Can anyone remember? We have discussed the subordinate clauses, right? So what is this if you're not a Hindu?
Conditional clause.
Perfect. Yes, because you have the word if, right? It indicates condition. So if you are not a Hindu is an example of subordinate clause. And it is what type of subordinate clause? Adverb clause of condition. And you cannot enter this temple is the main clause. All right. So that was one example. Then compound to complex. So if you have two independent clauses, you have to keep one independent clause as it is and then make the other clause as what? You have to make the other clause as dependent. Okay. So question, he ran fast but missed the train. What is the coordinator here?
But
Correct. You have the coordinator but over here. So if you have to make it a complex, you have to remove this but, and in place of a coordinator, you have to put a subordinator. excuse, excuse me. So subordinators could be though, even though, although, right? When, where, as long as, right? So that all these are examples of subordinator. Okay, students. So here we have the answer. Although he ran fast, he missed the train. Students, take care that when you're transforming the sentence, do not use both. That means coordinator and subordinator together. Okay. Okay, next one, complex to compound. Excuse me. Can someone read the statement, complex question statement? Yes, can someone read the question statement? 156 citizens.
The 156 citizens who have been selected for the initiative will be working in coordination with the traffic police.
Okay, can anyone identify the subordinating conjunction here?
who?
Perfect. Yes, it's who is correct. And answer statement is the 156 citizens have been selected for initiative. This is one independent clause. And they will be working in coordination with the traffic police is another independent clause. So you have removed the subordinator and you have replaced it with the coordinator. And this is how we transform complex to compound. So there are few questions on exercise. Can any one of you try? First one, they not only looted the shop, but also set fire to it. Make it simple. How do you try that? Yes. Yes, students. How do you try that?
They looted the shop, also setting fire to it,
Okay.
and also
They
set fire
looted
to
the
it.
But if you're using and, it's a coordinator. You have to make it simple, right? So you have to be very careful. If you use coordinator and, then it's wrong, right?
Not only they looted the shop, not only they looted a shop, but set a fire to it.
That is the same thing you have used as a question. It's a
Oh,
coordinator,
sorry.
not only but. So that's okay. No harm in trying, students. As I mentioned earlier, there's no harm in trying. So I just need to know. Yes. Someone else with the answer? Yes. Anyone?
Looting the shop, they set fire to it.
Okay, you're somewhat right, but it is like besides looting the shop. We use over here besides looting the shop, they set fire to it. Those who want, they can take a note quickly.
Can we say after looting the shop then?
No, no. One more thing. Even after is a subordinating conjunction. So you cannot use after. Okay. Okay. So besides looting the shop, they set fire to it. And students, are you all taking, are you all filling the Google form for the attendance? Yes?
Ma'am, can we fill
Because
now?
yeah, during the lecture itself, you have to fill while attending, while the lecture is going on. You don't have to wait for the lecture to finish. So as soon as the lecture started, you need to complete and you have to follow this for every lecture, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. And before I go ahead, students, today the round two admission list will be declared, right? So what you need to do is you need to first of all take care that it is for only those students whose names were not being declared in the round one, right? So there are different messages, WhatsApp messages being sent to you all, right? Depending upon what kind of college is allocated to you, right? So in case if you have been allocated with PACE Kalyan or PACE Thane College, you have to follow one procedure that is mentioned in the message. And in case if you have been allocated a different college, that is St. Xavier's, KD, Hill Spring, or any other college, for that the procedure is different. So everything is mentioned in the text in the message that has been circulated. So just go through that message properly, right? Because the list is already out. So after the lecture, you can also view the list and be careful. And we will be also having a Zoom session for the students who have been selected in round two. Okay, students. Yes, students, is this clear? Students, is this clear
Yes,
regarding
ma'am.
round two? Yeah. Okay. And one more thing, you don't have to panic for anything. We are there to guide you. Even if your name is not selected in round one or even round two for that matter, still you don't have to panic because we have round three also and some special round is also there. Okay, so you just not, just pan. And one more thing, in case if you have any queries, just contact the right person. The number and the name of the person, that is your respective class teachers are mentioned. So you will be only contacting Zamir sir for any inquiries. And in case if your query is not resolved, the only person to contact is me. You don't have to contact anyone from the office because they aren't aware about what's happening, right? So just follow the right procedure and be patient. Okay, so we'll continue with the topic. And before I continue, I just reminded we need to also check with the attendance. So in the meanwhile, I'm taking screenshot. You'll quickly fill the Google form. Okay, students, next one. Take care of the pence and the pounds will take care of themselves. So pence and pounds are the currency that is used in UK or that used to be used in UK. You have to make it complex. Now, before you make it complex, students, tell me, what is this type of sentence? Yes,
Compound.
correct. And how do you call it as compound? Because you have a coordinator which is and, right? Now, if you have to if you have to make it complex, you have to replace the coordinator with a subordinator, right? So definitely and will be out of picture. And which subordinator you will use and make it a complex sentence? Yes. 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 Anyone? How will you make it complex? And as I mentioned, there's no harm in trying. So just tell me.
If
Correct. And make the sentence.
if you take care of the pence, the pounds will take care of themselves.
Perfect. So here you will be using if, and why we are using if? Because the sentence indicates condition, right? If you take care of the pens, the pounds will take care of themselves. Good. So with this, we complete this
Ma'am,
topic of, and yes,
can we
yes.
write the pounds will take care of themselves if you take care of the pens?
Yeah, that is okay, but preferably we use if over here in the beginning. For this sentence, the appropriate sentence would be if, right? And again, the correction is subjective. In case if you're writing the paper, the correction is subjective. So the person who's correcting your paper, he or she may give you correct, or half mark may be deducted. We don't know, right? So I suppose both the options are correct. So there should not be any problem, right? Okay, so we have completed this topic, and regarding the writing skills, I'll be just sharing a file with you. Just give me a minute. I have completed the letter writing format right from the textbook. So this PDF will be sent into groups once we completed the topic in the other batches. Now for the email format, we will see. Email is very much similar to the letter writing. So let's say an email written for business communication or professional use comes under this category. The email written for government department, school authority, company, or any officer are the formal emails, and the use of polite and formal words. The reason for writing email, clarity, proper greeting and closing are some of the rules of the format that we already use in the letters, right? So obviously we use the right salutation like respected sir, ma'am. At the end we say thanking you, yours sincerely, yours faithfully, and so on. The same thing we are going to use. The only difference here in the beginning is to whom you're writing. So that part will come here. So this format is different from the letter, and you have to write the person of the receiver's email has to be written, and sender's email there is no question of writing. You might be using emails, right? So CC, BCC, CC is carbon copy, BCC is blind carbon copy. So for those students, the person who is receiving BCC will not come to know who are the other people who have got the email. Now, this is a sample of a resignation email in case if you have to resign from the office that you're working. And subject will be a resignation letter. So again, it should complete in 3 paragraphs. You have to remember for all formal letters, okay, one thing that it has to complete in 3 paragraphs, right? So we'll just see here. Can someone start reading? Yes. Yes, students, can you start reading? Yes, what happened?
Ma'am, can I read?
Yes.
Dear sir, please
Yeah.
accept this mail as a notice that I am leaving my position with this organization. As per the norms of the company, I have to give a month notice before resigning. I hope you will get a good replacement for me within this time period. I really appreciate the opportunities that I have been given to me to help me grow. Wish you and the company the best in the future. Please let me know what to accept as far as my final work schedule and the employee benefits. Please let me know in the case of any assistance for the above. Kindly look into the matter. Thanks and regards, LMN.
Okay. So I think this part is clear. So you have to use formal professional language, right? So that we are expert in using. And then apart from that, you have to, explain and what can be done further. All these things, have to be mentioned. And you can see second paragraph how nicely it is mentioned. Like I really appreciate the opportunities. Obviously, when you're leaving a company or office, maybe the office is not happy, or maybe you're not happy, that's why you're leaving. But when you are dealing with such authorities, you cannot express your grief, or your sadness, or your complaints, right? So at the time of leaving, you have to use good words like I really appreciate the opportunities, right? And in fact, in this, I'm not this organization. I hope you will get a good replacement. So here, the reason is not mentioned, although we expect people to write the reason also for leaving, right? So that's what we need to understand. So these three paragraphs are complete, and then thanks and regards, and then here yours name will be like XYZ, and what's your designation in the bracket. So students, as I mentioned, I will be sending this PDF to you all once this is completed in all the other batches. In case if you want, you can take the screenshot for the time being. Yes. You all are done with the screenshot? Can we go ahead? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, students, the next writing skill that we have some time, right? We have around 9 minutes. Okay, so next writing skill that we have is appeal. So what is appeal? So when you're requesting someone, or when you're trying to convince someone to do something, let's say this person may not be ready to do something else, right? So it depends upon your convincing skills, right? How you are able to convince a person so that the person's response becomes positive. Earlier, let's say the response was negative, right? But then because of your convincing skills, what happens is the response is now positive, right? So all this is called as appeal, and usually we don't use appeal in the general sense. We use it specifically for a social cause. Let's say for uh, donation or something like that, blood donation, and so on and so forth. For these purpose, we use appeals, right? So appeals are used to create social awareness. Let's say there is some need in the society which you aren't aware about, and any one of you can become a volunteer and explain the need, right? So basically, you're convincing people to come out, okay, and what you do, okay, and complete the cause, whether it's a blood donation cause or any other cause, like providing financial assistance to the people who have suffered from the earthquake and so on and so forth. So that kind of social awareness, and these are done to involve people in general social activities. It is done to make people aware of social problem, any social problem or natural disaster, to encourage them in trying to solve the problem and motivate them to take active part in the movements missions, or rallies. So let's see how appeal is made. So you use catchy slogans. So this writing skill actually tests your creativity, right? So in case if you're a creative person, okay, then you can definitely, get good marks in this. In fact, majority of the students, they get good marks because we don't expect, much of the content. Content is required, but to a limited. I'll just show you the sample. So be brief. Okay, you have to be to the point. Okay, don't speak much. Then address directly to the reader. So the people who are concerned, obviously, you'll be addressing to them. Then seek readers' participation. So at the time of speaking, right? So this is going to be your very impressive and catchy speech. Okay, and whether it's in writing or speaking, you have to involve the people who are reading your appeal. At the same time, if you're speaking in front of the public, okay, you have to involve them. Then appeal to heart. So your appeal should be such that people change their opinion. In case if I'm a person, I'm not interested in blood donation, but your appeal is so strong that I change my decision and I'm ready to donate the blood. That's how your appeal should be. It should be appealing to the heart, just not by words. So line should be drawn on four sides of the appeal. So that's like a box. Don't use columns, don't use colors for drawing. Writing work must be done with pen only, right? So many of the students feel appeal means drawing, and so they complete the writing work also with the pencil. So just to let you all know, students, anything written with pencil will not fetch you any marks, right? So you have to write with pen. Rhetorical questions can be used. Now, what are rhetorical questions? We will discuss in detail in the grammar section, but just to rhetorical questions means their answers are not expected. You know it is very cold. I know it is very cold. So I will just tell you, isn't it very cold today? Like that kind of a statements are rhetorical. Okay, so this is a sample of appeal. Donate blood, donate life. Now here colors have been used, but you are not supposed to. You can draw only with pencil. Who donate blood to others? They donate life to others. So save a blood, give blood. Every day hundreds of people need blood to live. So this is your strong statement. Like there are many people who are in need of blood, right? So this will definitely appeal to your heart. Okay. Okay, the next thing, come forward, donate blood, life. Remember, blood donation causes no harm. And this is a very strong statement also. Many people feel if I donate blood, I will faint, right? So that's what we need to understand, that nothing will happen to you if you decide to donate your blood. Okay. So, and then you also have to explain like at which place this blood donation is going to happen, at what time, and what's the address, and so on. So this was about the appeal. Is this clear to everyone, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I hope that you will be able to write. Now coming to the textbook part, we have 1 or 2 minutes. I can just show you where the appeal question was asked. Okay, we are running short of time. This was already discussed. This was completed. Okay, students, can everyone see this question? Appeal to your classmates to say no to junk food. So write an appeal to prefer organic food over junk food. This should be your question that I expect you to answer, right? And the remaining writing skills provided in this lesson itself, we will be discussing in the next class. So I'll just end the session. And if you have any queries, you can let me know. Okay, students? Yes, anything, anyone wants to say anything, or I'll end the session? Yes, I'm waiting for your reply, students. Yes, students, anyone wants to say anything, or I'll end the session? Okay. Students have replied via chat. Okay, I'll end the session. Thank you.